Welcome to Wanna Bet, the daily gambling game show that takes betting seriously like not much else. Get our favorite plays on the totals, sides, props, exotics, and futures to jump on now. So let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Subticosen kere konso baba konso felino. Let's get it started with Jason and Ben. Let's get it started with Jason.
Welcome to Wanna Bet. Happy NFL Divisional Saturday. I'm Jason. That's Ben. Pretty soon there's going to be a big-ass kangaroo sitting on my lap. I think that her name's Riley. I think I got to double-check that. Mateo ratted me out, Ben, like I knew he would. Couldn't wait to tell Lauren that Dad bought a 5-foot-tall, $100 kangaroo. But I explained it's a business expense. Of course, we've generated no revenue from this show. We've generated a lot of revenue for a lot of other people, and we've obviously cashed our bets, but we'd have done that whether we were doing this show or not. You know what I mean? Whether we were buying lobsters and fancy-ass bibs. Now, you could say, well, you don't have to do it that way, but I'd say that's who we are. That's what we do. I mean, there's only one way to do it. You're going to do it. You do it first rate. So the kangaroo's on the way. Look. We do a lot of things well here at Wanna Bet. We also tell you when we're not doing that well. NFL standalone games, we smashed them all year. All year. Like that game in Brazil didn't go so great. You know, the game where Jalen Carter spat in, was it Dak's face? That one threw me for a loop. You know, Cowboys team total under took a hit on that. I didn't have that handicap.
Hard to handicap.
Didn't handicap that, Ben. Didn't have it on my bingo card. Right before the first snap. So, shit happens, but we're excited about today's show. And we always show our work and tell you how last night went. Not too shabby. Look, the Dayton game was close at the half, and then Dayton beat them by 25 points, like we thought they would. Frankfurt, Bremen, that should have cashed in the first half. It cashed in 60 minutes. If anybody out there, when I said, I think it's 3-3, if anybody got on that correct score, email us at wannabetwithus@gmail.com. I would love to hear about it. We told you we thought there were 6 goals in that game. And if you wanted to alt it up to 4.5 or higher, knock yourself out because we had a little ladder going. Clippers started real slow, Beltway, Ben, but then they got it done even without Kawhi. And we loved your call on Zion, Mr. Friday Night. And that cashed easy. Dude had like 20 at the half, Ben.
Yes, and he actually ended up scoring 0 in the third quarter, and I'm like, don't do this to me. Because, I mean, I've been up and down lately. I'm like, it's going to be one of those nights, isn't it? He scores 4 right out of the gate in the fourth quarter to cash that. So that was very good. It played very well. We also cashed our Kings parlay, the Kings Wizards parlay. Again, I think that's going to be a common theme on this show for me, at least. Outside of regular prop plays, throw a few things together with whoever the hell the Wizards are playing on the money line. And it's usually a pretty good spot to cash. Tyrese Maxey, listen, the dude, I watched that game. I went to Planet Fitness with my girlfriend and I was running. And the game's right on the TV. So I'm watching it good. I also had other stuff on my phone that I was watching. And he's got a fast break 3 that he stops, waits 3 hours because he's wide open and shoots. And it literally was like, wasn't close. It wasn't like it was in and out. It was off. I was like, he's not feeling it. And sometimes in those spots, guys are like that. I'm a huge Tyrese Maxey guy. I think he's a great NBA player. I think he's probably underrated to this point. But he just wasn't feeling it last night. And past 2 games, it hasn't been that way. So that was a tough loss. And we lost on him 2 times in a row. So it's unfortunate. But again, we had a pretty good night with the Kings parlay cashing and Zion going over that 24.5.
Speaking of working while you work out, Rafa, who is somewhere between Madrid and Berlin right now and likes to listen to the podcast while he's working out, we know that I've had my struggles in the NHL. Our friend Rafa, part of our community here, who reached out to us on Twitter or on email, says he's got a pretty good NHL model that's been clicking at a high rate. So we may start slipping in some of Rafa's NHL model bets here. Because We all want to do this together and cash together. We are
Absolutely.
seeking information and maybe a little bit of entertainment. One other quick note before we get to today's bets. I did investigate the Fishbone in Your Face 40th anniversary tour. It is not Fishbone. It is, as I thought, Angelo's Fishbone. Dirty Walter Kibbe and John Norwood Fisher, two of the original founding members of Fishbone, are still at odds with Angelo and his camp. Angelo's the lead singer, saxophonist. What do they call that thing? Woo! Thing that like Brian Wilson would play. I'm talking into a vacuum here because I'm already speaking Chinese to you.
Yeah.
Theremin player.
Yes. The theremin.
Norwood bass, Dirty Walt backing vocals, and all assortments of horns, trombones, whatever. And Angelo plays a mean trombone too.
Oh, yeah.
I got nothing but love with Angelo, but this is not Fishbone. And like, you got to draw a line somewhere. Now, I drew a line with Guns N' Roses for years. It's like, I'm not seeing any of these reunions without Izzy, because Izzy is the conscience and soul of that band. And I saw him back in the day with Izzy, and it's not GNR without Izzy. Then it became really clear that Izzy was never coming back, and I got a chance to see him for free through a buddy at Live Nation at Madison Square Garden, I don't know, 8 years ago, and it was worth it. Duff played a whole bunch of, like, not a whole bunch, but a couple like Johnny Thunder songs because they were in New York. It was awesome. But like the Pixies without Kim Breeder ain't the Pixies. And Fishbone without Norwood and Dirty Walt ain't Fishbone. Maybe they could rectify that by the spring. I've seen them a million times. I'd go see Fishbone with those guys. I mean, it's weird. Chris Dowd allegedly is Team Angelo. I didn't see that one coming. Go get Special K back. Put the whole thing back together. Anywho. All right.
Get Fishbone back
first
together,
down,
man.
Let's rip through some soccer bets. You got anything to add to that?
I just think Fishbone, the beef between the Fishbone characters, they got to figure this out. Got to figure this out.
I think characters is that you're painting them as almost cartoons.
They sound like characters. They're fighting. What are they fighting about? Money?
Characterization of them as characters.
I don't
people.
know
they are
who
musicians.
these people are.
They are geniuses.
I've never once seen any of these guys. Fishbone doesn't sound like it'd be of my liking.
Them a lot.
Oh, I've definitely heard them on the show.
You seem to like playing Ma and Pa a lot on the show.
Yeah, because it's a clean intro. It's a clean. It's the only Fishbone. It's the only Fishbone song I think we have in there.
There is a whole dude. When I first started this show 6 years ago, I downloaded so much music to Alex Woodward. Trust me, I don't know why
I got Stone. Whatever Stone had.
Corner of it, man.
I got whatever Stone had. I have Stone.
Somehow this has got diluted down from like 10,000 songs to like 12.
I also don't play everything because some of the songs have to be specific to come in with. I don't want it to come in with screaming. I try to come in with a.
Yeah, well, believe it or not, I might. I might.
I thought it makes more sense to come in with the. All right, I mean, I'll play whatever. I don't really.
Would it be easier for you if I just gave you a couple songs every day? Know what I gotta do? I gotta go in your little side room. Is that where you can pull the folder up in there?
Yeah.
The room you used to do Wanna Bet in. If I go in there with you, you can show me what you have.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we got it. I got to fix that. That's on my 2026 resolution. There's so much we're not even touching that they should have. It's in that building somewhere. Alex Woodward had like 10. I sent Alex Woodward so much shit it would make your eyes bleed. All right. Let's give these people their bets before they change the channel. There's your rundown. We stole it from Tony and Mike. I can do that because they're my boys. Let's start with Arsenal to win to nil. We're playing the hits. This one will be retired if it doesn't hit today. It's a little bit like Beltway Ben and Tyrese Maxey lately. This was automatic, and then I don't know, like you concede goals here or there. I get it. We can no longer get it at plus 162 where it used to sit, but at plus 140, go to DraftKings, play Arsenal to win, both teams to score. No, that'll get you this. It was better than 365, better than anywhere else. Arsenal have kept 4 clean sheets on 10 road matches. They're 6-2-2 on the road. I mean, they're playing Nottingham Forest. I don't fancy Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest has kept 1 clean sheet in 10 matches at home. Nottingham Forest has twice as many losses as home as wins. They've only won 3 times at home in 10 matches. They have 5 losses of their 10 home matches. 5 of them are losses to nil, which means they lost a match and did not score a goal. I know Arsenal's got Champions League looming. I get it. But everybody got look. They got and I know they played Chelsea midweek in FA Cup or Caribou Cup, whatever it was, and so they played maybe more of their starters than they might otherwise. But they've got to get back to hanging goose eggs on people. It's their superpower. The central back pairing is back. And I just don't think Nottingham Forest is going to be able to generate anything from the run of play. So we like Arsenal to win to 0 plus 240. We'll just stay in the Prem. We like Newcastle to beat Wolves by more than a goal. Oh, let's just do Stuttgart money line. That's fine. Oh, no. Oh, yeah. You tell me. Stuttgart money line. Spotifyers and Apple bottoms. This match is early tomorrow, 9:30. ESPN Plus. They're hosting Union Berlin. We just talked a lot about Stuttgart hanging 4 and 50 minutes on Leverkusen the other night. Stockholm 6-1-1, only conceded 10 goals. I don't think Union Berlin's going to be able to get more than 1. I think Stuttgart can get 2. Fanatics had this priced the best at minus 150. I just think Stuttgart's a better team. They're in better form. They've been really good at home. I think they beat Union Berlin. And then we like laying a goal with Newcastle on the road at Wolverhampton. In the Prem, I like Newcastle. It's weird to say. More away than I do at St. James Park. Wolves got some results lately. They might not be the worst Premiership team ever. They're still really bad. And they don't get results at home. And the results they've gotten lately, the draw here or there, have been a little lucky. But Wolves have 1 win, 1 draw, and 8 losses at home. They've been outscored 23-10 at Molineux. This bet cashed in 5 of their 10 home Wolves matches. Opposite team, -1 at Wolves. Cashed in 5 of 10 home matches for Wolves. Pushed in 3 other. Newcastle went to Everton, hung 4 on the Toffees. They had a 3-1 win over Burnley. I think they can win this match 2-0, 2-0, 3-1, something like that. I think Newcastle putting our guy BDN back on the bench has been good for their overall flow of attack. I like him coming on as a late game target man. And I think Newcastle wins this match by more than 1. Make sure you play it in the Asian markets at 365 so we push on a 1-goal victory.
I'm going to go back to a guy who I told you guys we would be playing here on the show today. And we're going to play James Cook a few different ways. First, we'll play him over 76.5 rushing yards at -110. We're also going to play him over 17.5 attempts at -130. It's 18.5 in a few places, but the odds are a little bit better. I took it down 1 because this isn't yards where you can get 3 yards on 1 carry. Like, carries are a pretty specific number. 1 number could break us. He could land there on the hook and finish at 18, which he's finished at a few times this season. We talk about what he's done this year. He's got 100-plus rushing yards in 4 of his last 7 games down the stretch. He also had 18 for 80 in a matchup with the Bengals. There was a shootout, a weird type of game there. He's had success, and he's also carried Josh Allen partially. Like, this is a knock to Josh Allen. Josh Allen, top 3 quarterback in the NFL, plays great football, very good. But you could tell when he's on and when he's not with their success this season. Games like Atlanta and New England earlier in the year, where he struggled, the Bills struggled, and they weren't able to win. They need that run game going, and I've talked about it on the show throughout the week. I like the Bills. They're going to be featured on the show a little bit later. I think they win this game, and I'm expecting James Cook to have a huge role in that victory. We talked about how good the Broncos are defensively against the pass. The run, it's a little bit less. Now, you can look at their numbers of late and tell me, well, nobody's really been able to get off against them. I get that. We did see Josh Jacobs have 12 carries for 71 yards and have a big day. Outside of that, it's the Chiefs twice, who you know that run game is nothing. It's not working. They throw those guys out there to get 2 to 3 yards when they can, and it's more passing. It's the Raiders, whose offensive line was bottom 2 in the NFL all season long. Jonty had 10 carries for 30 yards. And then you have Jacksonville, where like ETN was at 15 for 50 or whatever it was. If Cook to me today gets 15 carries, he's a better back at this point in his career than ETN is. He'll be able to have some explosives. You also have a game in there where Jacksonville was throwing the football all over Denver. If Josh Allen's as banged up as it sounds like, I know he's going to play, I'm not sure Joe Brady, who's tentative, who's worried, who doesn't want to turn the ball over, who wants to keep his guys safe, won't dive into the run game and let James Cook get off a little bit, let him make the game easier for Josh Allen, run it early, and then if they do start to load the box and do whatever they want to do, have Josh Allen hit Brandon Cooks or one of those guys down the field on a big play. So for here, give me James Cook over 17.5 rushing attempts at -130, and we're also going to play him over 76.5 rushing yards at -110.
We like the Bills. The Bills to go boom. James Cook and Allen, and we like the boom. Second down, let's go to the late game today, and we will start with the Brock Lobster, as I like to call him. Brock Purdy. The Brock Lobster. Woo! 20 or more rushing yards, Beltway Ben, plus 114. He's done this in 4 of his last 5 games. He had 2 for 21 against Seattle a few weeks back. There's no Kittle. More for Tonjes, more for Juszczyk. We'll get to that. But, that's not explosive. I don't think DeMarcus Robinson is going to have multiple big plays in this game. I think even Juwan Jennings against this secondary, I think they'll be pretty sticky in coverage on him. They're facing a mastermind in McDonald who has owned Brock Purdy in his career. Brock Purdy's got a 76.5 passer rating against McDonald when he's faced them 5 times in his career. The legs have to be there. Trent Williams, I don't believe he's quite right, and they're not going to be able to run the ball with McCaffrey at all because they haven't all year long, and they're not doing it against this defense. I think it's a conservative number. Would not surprise me if Brock Purdy at the end of this afternoon or this evening had a box score that looked like 8 carries for 47 yards, something like that. Also in that game, we like Kenneth Walker to have 20 or more receiving yards, plus 175. At the 365. He had 4 catches on 4 targets for 36 last game. I know Charbonnet is the guy who you might think of as more of the pass-catching back, but tendencies change. Things go out the window in a winner-take-all playoff game, especially against a familiar opponent, and you want to mix some things up. Lest you've forgotten, since we talked about it last week, 120 passing attempts to running backs now against San Francisco. Second most in the NFL. 98 completions to running backs against San Francisco this season. Most in the NFL. 82% completion percentage. In the last 12 games, running backs have had at least 25 receiving yards against the 49ers. 10 times. 10 out of 12. When Walker has 3 receptions or more, he has at least 30 receiving yards in 4 of those 6 games. How has the division attacked the 49ers, right, in divisional games? The Rams, 3 catches for 44 yards to running backs. The Rams, 3 catches for 64 yards to running backs. And then again, Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker both had success in the past game against these guys a couple weeks back. I don't think anything changes here, Beltway Ben.
You like Wes is over tomorrow in that Texans game? Wes Welker? Think he can get it going?
I have to think about it.
I don't even. They were props then. They're probably just more illegal. What was that? 2011? Probably 2011. Boy, you could bet on Wes Welker. But no. Here, I'm going to go to Tonjes. Jason had touched on it just a second ago. Just kind of what you think about this game. And we, are aligned. We both really do like Tonjes here. Jake Tonjes over 33.5 receiving yards at -110. And we're also going to play him over 4.5 receptions at plus 134. A lot of games this year. He's played with Kittle, so you look at the games and it's like no catches for 8 straight. And you're like, well, why are you taking him here? There is no George Kittle, which means everything for Tonjes. Let's look a few weeks where he played without him. 4 for 31, 2 for 21, 3 for 58, 7 for 41, 6 for 58. Then Kittle comes back. He doesn't do much. All of a sudden, against Chicago, Kittle's out again. 7 for 60 and a touchdown. That is more of the expectation here against a Seattle team that has struggled against tight ends. Now, this is another situation where you can look 3 of their last 4 games. Tight ends really haven't been able to get going, but a lot of the offenses that they faced down the stretch, A, didn't have many tight ends going their way at all, and B, it was an ugly passing game. Bryce Young threw for like 40 yards against them. Of course, Tommy Tremble's not going to have 50 or 5 receptions in that game. Doesn't demand the targets that other tight ends do. In this spot right here, Tonjes is going to have to be like very much a part of the offense. We know Purdy will get a little scared and throw the football off to the tight end a few times. And Tonjes has looked good enough for me at least to trust him. The last time they played a legit passing offense that wasn't sitting starters like the Chargers in Week 18, what happened? We saw the Rams tight ends, who they have a three-headed monster, bunch of different guys, 7 for 88. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to see Tonjes catch a million passes today, but I do think he can get to 5, which he's gotten to multiple times. His last 3 without Kittle starting the game. And I also think 33.5 receiving yards. He's going to get lost. We see Seattle do it a lot. Seattle is brilliant. Mike McDonald, you know how I feel about him. That being said, tight ends have been able to have their way. And then something else here, like, I just think because we know Luke Farrell's the blocker. They like him on the field.
Yeah.
Played pass early in that game. They're teeing off on Christian McCaffrey. A dump off to Farrell. And Farrell went over this in a lot of the games for that first half without George Kittle, right? The first absence before he got re-injured down the stretch. Farrell was able to get over this number a lot. It's just one catch. And he's not going to be the number 1 tight end on the field in passing downs. Of course, that'll be Tonjes, who we're going to be rooting for. But a few play passes and things like that, I would expect Farrell to be involved. A check down, a tight end screen, however they want to do it. I like him over a half a reception for plus 140.
I held up Meaty and Lilo and Kona for the Spotifyers and the Apple Bottoms. I played Tonjes 5+, so that's covered. We're both on that on Tonjes receptions, which brings us to halftime. Hope you enjoyed those lovely ads. Maybe one day it'll be Mason's Lobster Roll. Maybe one day it'll be PetSmart. Maybe one day it'll be BetQL. Who knows? Or it could just be random stuff that never trickles down to us. Who knows? Who knows how that's going to play out that way, Ben? Somebody's got to pick up the phone. 3rd down. We're on Tonjes there. Why don't I just give out the Tonjes long reception, Beltway Ben? This could be a 4th and long, but we're just going to give it out here. Jake Tonjes to have a reception of 20 yards or more tonight, plus 185 at the 365. Kittle routinely does this on seam routes. In fact, it's in the 15 play early script for Kyle Shanahan quite a lot if you go back and run their first quarter numbers. I expect it to hit maybe even in the first half of this game today. Ben talked a lot about this topic just a minute ago. Seattle's allowed a passing completion of 20 yards or more to a tight end in 8 of the last 11 games. Seattle's allowed 105 completions to tight ends. That's 4th most in the NFL. 7.5 yards per attempt. That's a lot for tight ends. We've seen Kittle go off against these guys. In the last 11 games that the Seattle Seahawks have played, 7 times an opponent's tight ends have combined for at least 6 catches. And quite often, it's 9 or more. I like this matchup for Tonjes. He's going to get the better of the young safety on a double move or something. And I like that kid a lot. And Menwari in the hands of McDonald, I knew was going to be genius. I thought he'd have to take him in the 1st round. Got him in the 2nd. But I do think Tonjes gets a long reception here. Purdy loves throwing to tight ends. And again, it's in the early game script quite a bit. And then as another play I made as an alternative to Kittle, Juice, Kyle Juszczyk, 3 or more receptions, plus 230 at bet 365. No Kittle. Beat up McCaffrey. They're going to key on McCaffrey. We saw what he'd have 7 of these last week against the Eagles. That's a little bit extreme. But they do trust him. They trust him in short yardage to catch the ball. They trust him in goal to go to catch the ball. And some of their best touchdown maker, you could say, outside of McCaffrey, isn't playing in this game. A lot of the receivers have missed practice time. And Shanahan loves this guy and trusts this guy. We've seen him show up big in championship games. We've seen him show up big in Super Bowls. And I think he's going to get 4 or 5 targets in this game. Let's hope he catches 3 of them.
Yeah, real quick, I saw someone in the comments say that I ran through Tonjes a little bit. They weren't able to catch the first play. So the first play for me for Tonjes, 33.5 receiving yards, minus 110. And just his regular receiving yards, we also gave out his 4.5 receptions at plus 134. And then we also gave out Luke Farrell over a half reception. Here for me, third down, we're going to switch it up somewhat. We have two different plays, two different games, but I didn't know where to fit these guys in and the games in. So I just went back to back here before we get into fourth and whatever, and then overtime. Jackson Smith and Jigba over 94.5 receiving yards at -110. I didn't want to give it out. I don't usually like giving out some of these top guys and these. Everybody and their mother is going to be betting on Jackson Smith and Jigba, who led the NFL in receiving or was top 3 in the NFL in receiving for most of the year, right up there with Puka. I don't love doing that, but here, given the spot and what the situation is, I don't care that Sam Darnold is dealing with whatever he's dealing with. Do I think that could impact it a little bit? But when he does throw the football, it should be going to JSN as it has all year. It's been a while since we've seen him get up into the 100-plus range. I think today against a San Francisco secondary that's really struggled. And we know that rivalry, right? JSN has been talking a lot to that secondary. They've been talking on social media. A lot of trash talk going on there. JSN is a dog. Anybody from Ohio State at the wide receiver position, you usually can never go wrong. And they show up in these spots. It's win or go home. You got to win it. I do think, there's a lot of talk about the oblique and Darnold's not feeling it. It wouldn't shock me if they come out trying to take a shot. Like, you're guessing, and Salah's going to be a little aggressive trying to get to the quarterback. JSN with one big explosive wouldn't shock me at all. You know that he's good after the catch. You know he runs very good routes. Like, I think this is a pretty good spot for JSN. As I said, he hadn't gotten to 100 much down the stretch over the last few games, and it's crazy to say that about a guy. It's like, well, you're betting on him to get 100 yards. Yeah, go look at what he did for the first, 8 to 10 games of the season. He was doing this with regularity. The other play, I said it's kind of two completely different things. The Buffalo Bills on the money line at +105 at Denver today. Really like the Bills here. Josh Allen's another quarterback who comes into this game banged up. We talked about it. I think James Cook will be able to keep the pace, to hold Denver off, keep them off the football field. And this is a bye week. We've seen teams struggle a little bit coming off of the bye. I've said it time and time again on the show throughout the week. I think this is Josh Allen's year to at least make it. I don't think they're winning the Super Bowl, but to get there, the NFL feels like they want that. Whether it's them or the Texans, those are my two picks. I just think they're going to be able to get after Bo Nix enough. I think Bo Nix might make one or two big mistakes. He wasn't as good throwing the football down the stretch. I would expect here Buffalo to have some success defensively, force a turnover or two, and the offense be able, the run game at least, to carry them to a win here. So Buffalo Bills money line +105.
Got an early goal from Hoffenheim. That's a nice start there. And Die Bundesliga! Fourth and short for me, Beltway Ben. This one's just keep it simple, stupid. We're going first half under in the Buffalo-Denver game. 23.5 -135. Neither of these teams start games fast. And Denver's particularly slow at home, and Buffalo's offense is particularly slow on the road. Buffalo averages 8 fewer points per game on the road than at home. Overall, Denver, for the season, was 25th in the NFL in first half scoring. Denver scored 40 points in 9 games at home in the first half. It seems impossible. Like, first halves in Denver average like 10 total points. The defense is great. Bo Nix is Bo Nix. Not great. The run game fits and starts. Buffalo's played 9 times on the road, Beltway Ben, including the playoffs. They produced 81 first half points. I'm no mathematician or a mathemagician, but I'm pretty sure 9 times 9 is 81. And soon I'll be able to say 9. I'm going to learn the German, like I said. I got to print it out and keep it like right here.
Yeah.
To count in German. But like 9, nuf, not, whatever. That's not a lot. That's not a lot of points.
No, not at all.
And I think both these teams will be content to keep it close and lean in the run game. And maybe Allen's foot is an issue, and Bo Nix throwing the ball is an issue. So we like the first half under. Beltway, Ben.
Yeah, I'm going to play a first half play as well, but this is going to be in the college basketball market. We're going to play Florida +1.5 first half -110. This game smells to me of Florida leading at halftime and Vandy pulling it off. I do like Florida the way they've played lately. I'll be completely honest with you. Last year, I told everybody week after week, this team is not legit. They're going to lose. Walter Clayton ended up carrying them to a national championship victory, and I was wrong. Just to be completely honest with you, I wasn't buying them as much, but this year they got off to the slow start. You had a lot of people saying, last year was a one-off, which I do think to a certain extent it was. This team is still better than their early record says. And when you switch 2 guards out and move 2 completely different guys in, and you go with a 3 big lineup, there's going to be some learning issues, and you got to figure things out. They're here now. They're playing much better basketball. They've won 3 or 4 in a row. They're playing well, and you have a Vandy team who they're not as good as Florida was last year. It's not even an argument, but I don't think the Vandy is as good as their record, right? I don't think Vandy is as good as just 1 loss. They're going to play in the SEC. It's going to get tougher as the year goes on. I know this is a home game for them. Playing a Vandy is never easy, right? You have the benches down on the baseline, whatever that is. It always makes me laugh watching those types of games.
Some people are saying Vandy is the Miami of Ohio of the SEC. I've heard that. I've heard some people say that Vandy is the Miami of Ohio Redhawks of the SEC. I heard that somewhere. You would take umbrage with that? You would disagree with that assessment?
Yeah, I buy Miami a little bit. I don't want to trash Vandy. Byington's a great coach. Comes in there from JMU, takes Vandy, who's never relevant in basketball, to the tournament in his first year. No, I'm buying them to a certain extent. I think I'm buying Miami of Ohio a little bit more. When they went into to Akron to do it, pretty impressive. But no, I like Florida here. I think they're going to at least be leading at halftime, but just to be a little safe, I'm going to take them plus 1.5 because you see a lot of times, whether it's a tie game or a team's down 1, 2 free throws late, anything could happen. So give me Florida plus 1.5, first half at minus 110.
Yeah, I don't have an official play in college hoops.
Oh, real quick.
Yeah.
I figure you're going to get to here in a second. Somebody did comment, does Hofstra make the board today versus Elon?
I'm checking, and I've been really busy. We're going to go over 149.5. Yes. We think the fight in Phoenix against Hofstra. Hofstra's got to score to win. Defense is not their superpower. I like Elon at home with the over more than the road. But 149.5, you got me.
Jason Battle commented that. Shout out to Jason Battle.
Mud Skippers overs on the road. Let's go. Yeah, you beat me to punch. I was literally going to throw that in there. Ben, we talked about it for a second before I came on because I could barely read my own handwriting. But I'm not. I haven't. That I'm going to play it. It's a lean. I'm not going to call it an official play because I meant to do more work on it and I didn't. But am I going to play it at 149.5? I am. Overtime. Buffalo Bills plus 3.5. Buffalo Bills team total over 23.5 plus 160 at the bet 365. We both think Buffalo's winning this game. Denver's defense has slipped in the second half of the season. I don't trust Bo Nix. I don't trust Bo Nix on 13 days rest. I think it's a rest. And I'd rather have Bo Nix on the road than at home, where I don't think he'd try to put on a show and do too much. I think Buffalo's defense is more than good enough in the secondary. And I don't think Denver's an elite rushing team. I still don't think Sean Payton has sorted that out the way he'd like to. Josh Allen has played 14 playoff games. The Bills have scored at least 24 in 12 of them. Bills kicker is pretty good. Everything flies in altitude. Josh Allen will finish some drives with his legs. I think they scored 24 points here. I mean, Jacksonville scored 34 on these guys in Denver. Green Bay scored 26. Washington scored 26. I know that game was on the road. But I think the game starts out slow. I think the game probably finishes around 27-20, something like that, in Buffalo's favor. And I do think the kickers show up. So we also like both teams to have a field goal of 33 yards or more, plus 105 at the DraftKings, is where we played it. Now I'm in the other game now. I'm going back to, Seattle, San Francisco. Both teams have a field goal 33 yards or more, plus 105. San Francisco's got some serious red zone issues, and Seattle's got an elite red zone defense. And San Francisco's finally got a kicker. Piñero's been really good. They trust him. He makes the ones he's supposed to make and a few he's not supposed to make. On the other side, I don't think Mike McDonald can fully trust Sam Darnold in the red zone. I mean, he shouldn't. And Seattle's just 21st in red zone offense. And I know people want to crown Clint Kubiak like he's done something. Beware. Defensive-minded head coach. I think he's going to take the points. I think he's going to default to helping his defense out. And I think he's going to want Sam Darnold to keep it simple, stupid. Myers is second in the league in field goals made, tied for first in the league in field goals attempted. 20 field goals made at home this season, second in the NFL. Myers is 5 of 6 from 50 or longer at home. He's attempted 3 or more field goals in 4 of the last 5 at home. So I think they both connect from 33. And we're also on Myers to have the hat trick. Like, hat trick, Harry Kane. Hat trick, Myers. Try. Field goal. Plus 227. Plus 227. I think it could be like 16-13 this time, Beltway Ben.
Yeah, here we will play a few different things. We have a few touchdown parlays that one's a full unit because we're having fun, and then the other's a half unit, just a long shot. But I think it's very possible. Here is the regular full unit play. James Cook, anytime touchdown. Cortland Sutton, anytime touchdown. JSN, anytime touchdown, plus 1150. We're playing a full unit on this. Listen, James Cook, if he gets off the way I expect him to and has the rushing success, there should be an explosive in there. Whether they punch one in with him in the red zone or he has one of those longer touchdown runs, which we've seen him do this year, neither would surprise me. Cortland Sutton, like if they get in the red zone, they're going to take a few shots to the guy. They've done it a lot. Since Bo Nix has taken over as the starter, he can make plays. He's very good at home. He scores even more touchdowns in their home games. I would expect Sutton to find the end zone. And then JSN, anytime touchdown. This was a regular play for a good portion of the year. Now, Adam Schefter is reporting that Darnold hasn't thrown the football since injuring the oblique, and everything is going on there. Well, if Drew Lock plays, whoever plays in this game, I still think it will be Darnold. But whoever plays in this game, JSN is the guy you're looking for to throw the football to. He's burned this 49ers secondary before. I don't know why anything would change here. And if they do score a few passing touchdowns, it's going to be him. It's got to be him. So give me JSN anytime touchdown, Cortland Sutton anytime touchdown, and James Cook anytime touchdown at plus 1150. Now, here we're going to play a half unit play. Let me get Lilo. Where's Choppy?
Holy moly.
We have Choppy. Oh, there's Choppy. Yeah, this is for fun. This is a tight end divisional round, which I play
nice
most years. Half unit play right here. Tight ends.
Did you cut that out or did Maddie cut that out?
You did.
No, I cut both dogs out for you?
Yeah, you did.
Oh, that's right. I did. I haven't done it for myself.
Yeah.
That shows you what a meatball I am.
A meatball.
That's right. I already gave it to you on the stick because I'm like, wow. I'm like, oh, Beltway Ben went and got the popsicle sticks too. It's like, no, never mind.
No, you had given it to me.
I gave it to you that way.
Yeah.
Dude, I got some issues.
No, but here we are playing. We're going to play a tight end parlay. Dawson Knox anytime touchdown, Jake Tonjes anytime touchdown, Dalton Schultz anytime touchdown, and Colston Loveland anytime touchdown.
Tight end you.
Plus 24,254. I just put a half unit on this. I didn't put much. I do think that we could see some touchdowns or tight end score touchdowns this weekend. I went Knox instead of Kincaid. In a second, I'll get to Kincaid.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. How do you? What's your Rubik's cube there? How do you?
Because when he's on the field, for whatever reason, they go both tight ends. Joshy loves getting his guy the ball in the end zone, regardless who's being paid more money, who they view better. And I know last week it was Kincaid. Go look at the pass that Knox dropped last week in the end zone. Allen always targets him in the end zone. If you look at where his targets come, and you also have the long throws, right? He's hit him for 25 plus multiple times this season. If they cheat against the run because James Cook's getting off and they're in their territory, he will find Knox down the field. He's on the field enough. He's on the field in the red zone. I know Kincaid is very good in between the 20s. Knox has been more of the touchdown guy. And it's through his career. He scored a number of touchdowns with Josh in the playoffs before. On the road, I would expect him to go to Knox in the red zone at some point, just like he did last week, but Knox wasn't able to come down with the football. Next, Tonjes. We talked about it. I mean, Kittle scores touchdowns when he's on the field. Tonjes can as well. If they're going to score inside the red zone, I think it'll be a pass inside the 10, inside the 15, something like that. Dalton Schultz, Nico Collins is out. That changes everything for that offense. And we also know that the Patriots have struggled against tight ends. And then Colston Loveland, what he did last week is unbelievable, but it's normal for who the guy is. I mean, he's a very good tight end. Was solid at Michigan. A lot of people had talked about the pick, including myself. Tyler Warren, they don't draft him. You draft Loveland. It's starting to pay off for them, right? He's making plays, and Caleb Williams looks comfortable throwing him the football. So Dawson Knox, Jake Tonjes, Dalton Schultz, and Colston Loveland anytime touchdown, plus 24,254. One more.
I'm on it.
I like that.
Choppy, RIP. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
It'll be a fun play.
Choppy's got it. Oh, damn.
Choppy's ear is banged up on
load.
my end too. The Choppy's ear on my end is in a tough spot.
He's a trooper, man. You can't keep that little dog down.
No, absolutely not. But the other play, I just said we're going to get to Kincaid. Dalton Kincaid, over 37.5 receiving yards, and Jake Tonges 3+ receptions. You can get this at plus 136. For me here in this spot, you have a Broncos defense that has struggled against tight ends. I talk about how good they are against the pass. Against tight ends, they've struggled. And in this spot here, I would expect to see Kincaid catch a few passes. I know I just talked about Knox getting in the end zone. Well, that's how things have gone for them a number of times this year. One of them's been able to get in the end zone. The other's picked up a lot of yardage, and I think that's how we will see this game play out here. If Allen is really hurt the way they're saying he is, easy throws to Kincaid. He's the tight end who's faster, who can make some more plays. And then Tonjes 3+ receptions. He's done it in every game that he started without Kittle, plus 136. One play here. Listen, I'm doing everything I can not to win 2 units on this. I have, but on this show, I'm just going to give it out as a 1-unit play. St. John's, the Johnnies on the money line here today at minus 148. I know there's some juice here. I don't care. This team is not legit in Villanova, right? They're playing Villanova, and it's on the road. I get that. Coming into the year, there was a lot of talk about what St. John's was, and I was buying it. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I thought they were better than what they've played so far this year. That being said, they are better than Villanova. They're better on paper. They're tougher. They're older. I trust what they have a little bit more than Nova. I don't think Nova has the depth to beat St. John's here today. I know they've struggled, but Pitino will fix things up. Like, whatever you think about Pitino, he's done this a long damn time. He's understood all of this, and he should be able to school a dude, and don't even get me started on the bald rat. He lives off of other players' success, like Rodney Rice in Maryland. He didn't want to take as a recruit, so don't tell me that the roster building was on him. No, he didn't want Rodney Rice. Rodney Rice forced his way there, and that turned into a very exciting year for the Terps. Kevin Willard, don't buy him as a coach, and I know we faded him a few times. It hasn't been no success. We took Creighton at plus 170 the other night, and they were able to beat them. So I do like St. John's on the money line at minus 148. And if you want a college basketball parlay, I'll give this out as a full unit play. 2 legs, St. John's, Texas Tech. Texas Tech hosts BYU, another team coming into the year. Top 8 in the country, a lot of hype. You bring back Toppin. You have Christian Anderson, who's been awesome. Hasn't really played out well for them so far. BYU's only got 1 loss, but they're due for one of these spots. And at Texas Tech, playing down there is going to be pretty tough for BYU. So give me Texas Tech on the money line and St. John's on the money line, which you can parlay together for plus 171.
Fook it, Ben. Give me the Elon. Give me the Mud Skippers. And now you did all this college basketball work. Yeah. Now I feel like a schmuck. There's 9,000 college games today. So let's go. I mean, 149, I thought it was going to be more like 153.5. I'll be honest with you. So 149.5, we're over there. On the Mud Skippers at Hofstra. Monday, because of the holiday. Have you looked at the college basketball slate Monday? Monday's like a Saturday in college basketball.
Really? No, I have not.
Starts at noon and goes we got 1 million college basketball games on Monday.
I know usually it's like that. I have not gotten broken down that slate yet.
Do we have anything else we need? Any emails? Anything else we need to address?
No. Rafa commented today, I'm skipping the gym, but still listening to us. Greatly appreciated. Saturday's always
got to
different.
Pick one or the other.
Right.
If you've got to pick your mental, physical well-being or listening to a degenerate betting show, you listen to the degenerate.
How would it not
show,
be?
Of course.
It's
an either-or proposition, Beltway, Ben.
And then also, we have all of our. Well, it's not yet. As soon as we get off this, it should be posted by at least 11:30. We have our breakdown for the divisional round games. We're gonna have all that video up. We break down all 4 games. I know we got into our plays throughout the week. Any of our loyal listeners or loyal viewers know, but we did break down each game in specific. We talked about our leans, the totals, money lines, spreads, and then a few props we like for those. So tune into that on our YouTube channel and on our podcasting, wherever you get your podcast.
Excellent. So tomorrow at 11, like normal, for the Sunday show. Monday, Ben's got to host an early show on our radio station, and I've got to get my son to like this ridiculous all-day basketball tournament. So we're going to do Sunday night after the football game ends. We will give you our Monday plays Sunday night. Monday during the holiday, there won't be a show, but you'll have all our plays. And then we'll be back Tuesday at 11. Yeah, so that's it. Oh, Ben, put the ticket up, please, if you don't mind. Transparency, Uber Alice. There you go. It was a good night last night. Let's keep it going today. We've got a lot of soccer action. We've got a lot, obviously, in the NFL. And we appreciate all you guys betting with us. Our buddies at the Players Band, if they're listening, thank you for your help with the new intro and exit music, outro, I guess, that you're working on. We eagerly await getting that in the mix. Pretty soon we're going to have a shot clock, allegedly, I think, supposedly, which will keep the show even more streamlined. Well, I should say even more streamlined. We'll keep the show streamlined. Yeah, we'll have more plans. Pretty soon I'll have a kangaroo sitting on my lap. So big things in 2026 for WannaBet. Again, email us, wannabetwithus@gmail.com if you need us for anything. Business inquiries, of course. And we will see you tomorrow at 11. You want to bet, we want to bet. Thank you for betting with us.